name's Benji and welcome to Dice vs Cards. Today we're looking at Age of War, a 2 to 6 player competitive dice rolling game with a splash of push your luck, because once you set down a certain path on your turn, there ain't no turning back. And set collection, because that's what we're here to do, ladies and gentlemen. Gain collections of clans, of castles, of human beings even, to gain the most points possible. Now you play as daimyos or clan leaders looking to unite the clans. Wrong country. Looking to unite the clans. Point and laugh at me in your own time. In the meantime, let's see how this plays and whether this could be the next game for you. So throughout the game you're playing as a daimyo looking to unite the clans, and you'll see the different coloured sets of castles which are represented with these cards actually each represent different clans. And if you're able to fully subjugate and dominate a particular clan, then you'll get a bonus. You'll see here the red clan gives you 5 bonus points instead of the 2 plus 2 or 4 it would have given you individually. So the core tenets of the game are obviously centered around these dice, very well made dice I would say, and you're going to be rolling dice on your turn and then looking to cover up the symbols on each castle in order to capture that castle. But the trick is you can only place dice on each row or each battle line per roll. So you can take one dice to fill up, so these 3 swords or infantry, you can cover up that symbol, but then you can't use the remaining lot to fill the other 2 battle lines because you need to re-roll the dice to try and do that. Now we rolled a lot of swords or infantry there, but we needed some archers represented by the bow and some cavalry represented by the horses. So we were quite lucky there with all those swords that we could also cover up this top row. And then similarly, rolling again, and as luck would have it, I've rolled fantastically well there, and that's been enough for me to capture that castle. But let's just say I was unsuccessful in one of my rolls. Then all you do then is take one of the dice away and re-roll the remaining ones, and you do that every time you're unable to complete a battle line until you've run out of dice. Then you either capture the castle on your turn or you don't. It's that simple. When you capture it, you're going to get a number of points at the end of the game equal to the number on the card. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, it is, but there's a great deal of push your luck. The way I just rolled was very improbable. Quite often you're going to be disappointed and not capture, and you're also going to be seeing your opponents going after a particular set you want. There's only one clan that only has 1 castle, this green one. The rest have more than 1. So you might start down the path of trying to conquer this yellow clan here, and then someone else takes one of the cards. So all is not lost in that instance, because you can still try and capture the castle by completing all the battle lines like you would on a normal turn, but to represent that you're trying to take it from one of your opponents, you also have to separately roll one of these daimyo facings. So it is harder to capture a clan from another opponent, but it is possible, because remember those bonus points that you get on offer if you're able to complete a set and capture the whole clan. Quite honestly, that's the sum total of the game. This is a lightweight game, so there's not much to it at all. It's very fast paced. You're rolling dice on your turn, and your turns are going to never take more than 30-40 seconds. It's fast paced in that regard, and you're just going to continue round the table until all of the face-up castles have been captured from the centre of the table. Then each player is going to tally up their total point score, and as you'd expect, the player with the most points is then the winner. So that's a rough overview of the game. What did I think of it? So who is this for? Well, it's undoubtedly a lightweight game, and although it's not a party game, because of how well it scales between 2 and 6 players, this really can accommodate so many different scenarios, being playing at home with your family or even at a party. Because of its well-paced nature and the fact that it's pocket size, it really is adaptable and flexible in that regard. Now, if you like the idea of a bit of subjugation, a bit of clan war, but you want to do it in a light-hearted, fluffy way, in the comfort of your own home, then there's probably something here for you. So you might want to consider this if you liked Dragon Slayer, published by Indie Boards and Cards, or Dungeon Roll, published by Tasty Minstrel Games. Although if you couldn't stand the player scaling in that game, you really should check this one out. So in terms of gameplay, well, I've talked before about the need for lightweight games such as this to ascend above their base simplicity in order to separate themselves from their peers and craft a game that is well worth your time and effort. And Age of War does one particular thing very well in that regard, and that's in the push your luck elements. So the risk reward centered around what castle you pick and trying to achieve all those battle lines, knowing that each failure gets you further away from possible success, just ramps up that anticipation. And when you're finally able to conquer a castle and then ultimately a clan, the sense of excitement you get is palpable for what is really a straightforward task that you're carrying out. And on the flip side, when you disappointingly fall just short more often than not, you don't care so much. That disappointment is fleeting because you know full well that you're going to have another swing at bat soon enough. So I'm a fairly passive player. I tend to focus on my own game plan. Being a family man, I've been taught that trying to hinder my opponents too much sometimes ends in tears. So that's just the way I tend to play games. But if you take that last castle that I've been collecting, or God forbid you try and attack one of the clans I've already conquered, well, I will end you at that point. This is war, but this is fun war. It is a fun game. You really can't get too upset when you're battling back and forth. Those interactive elements that are brought forward by the take that mechanic really does work well within the theme we're looking at in terms of conquering clans and uniting them all in order to gain supremacy. Pacing, I've already mentioned, is very good between 2 and 6 players, but because it's not a simultaneous player action game, you know, let's talk in a 6-player environment, there isn't so much you're going to be doing in terms of game planning. So although pacing is excellent and you're rarely going to be waiting too long to have your turn, if you're someone that really likes to analyse what could I be doing next turn, what are my options, there's very little of that going on. You have to appreciate the take that elements, appreciate the success and failure of your other opponents to really be engaged and appreciate this game. So we finished with the look and feel and theme of the game, and really they just crafted this wonderful little pocket product. So pocket that you could pretty much take it anywhere you want and it would make an able travelling companion. Components really in the box are all of a high standard, and I appreciate a good dice, and the ones on offer here are really, really well made. The art style is nice and thematic on the box art and also on the cards. And really the theme, there is little of it in the rulebook, but what it gives you, it puts you in that setting and that scene very nicely. So with all that being said, Dice vs Cards going to give a final score of 8 out of 10. This is a game, because it's so versatile, that I don't imagine will ever leave my collection. So that's it from me. I'll see you next time.
Supreme excellence consists of breaking the enemy's resistance without fighting. That's the art of war, you numpty.